Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome to Panzer Corps 2. So, for those of you who know, I do enjoy dabbling in the sort of Second World War strategy game, and this is one I've kind of been keeping an eye on for a while, and we finally just got access to basically the early release version. It's not the full version yet, this is still sort of a preview version, we haven't made it to the sort of first official build, still a few months away from release, so worth sort of clarifying some of the audio stuff's going to get changed. There'll be some more improvements yet to come, but it's still a pretty awesome game all the same. I've been playing this quite a bit over on my laptop, pushing through the sort of Polish campaign, France and over to North Africa, but now I've just moved over to my desktop and so I'm back starting with the Polish campaign, which is really kind of a fun one. One of the fun things I found about this game, if you go to the campaign, for example, how I'm down here now on the Polish campaign, and you basically get an option when you go forwards to either attack from the north or from the south. So when I played this the first time around, I did the north, sort of through Danzig and pushed down on Warsaw that way. But this time, I've been playing it from sort of the southern campaign. And yeah, been having good fun. And I'm now just setting up for the push on Warsaw, so that's kind of where you're going to be joining me. So let's load into that, and we can talk a little bit more sort of about how the game itself actually kind of works. So you can see, of course, the tactical map. We currently, as the Germans, are down here. We own Lodz. And we just sort of, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that in any way, a Polish village. We captured this towards the end of the last battle. So obviously we're going to have a fair bit of a push looking at this to get through to Warsaw. So this is a starting turn. I haven't yet actually started my deployment yet, but I sort of shall do shortly. Let's toggle my unit lists if I can press the right thing. These are all the stuff I've got deployed. So you can see this is my core slot total, so I have 11 free cores which I can use to buy new units, and this is my existing army setup. The units I've got deployed down here. So obviously after the last battle some of them are a bit damaged, so first off I'm going to spend a good chunk of money just sort of getting these units all back up to strength pretty much. You sort of have an option, you can pay basically around double the amount to re-strengthen a unit but you take no experience loss. So for the units like this I'm going to do it. For the cavalry, particularly because they've got a good chunk, I'm going to do it. These the third Vem activity here. I'm probably not going to bother because their experience loss isn't going to be all that great. So I'd rather take the cheaper option. And I'm probably going to go for the same here. They only lose 66 experience. And I'm trying to preserve my funds a little bit more. I'll probably pay for it though on the tanks, mostly because these aren't that under strength anyway. And some of them have got a little bit of experience building up, so it's probably worth the cost there for me. And the same with some of my artillery stuff. So towards the end of the last battle, we managed to get a hero. So this is something you'll get to see sort of in games. You'll get to unlock these different heroes, and they provide certain bonuses. So I got Marcus Bauer, and you'll see his special attribute: lethal attack. All suppression caused by this unit is converted to kills. Well, that makes perfect sense to me, at least in the Vivo logic sense, to put that on an artillery piece, because these artillery cause quite a lot of suppression, but don't often get kills. Well, you can see the logic in that then, can't you? So we're going to assign him there. So that's kind of cool. So you can do things like that. The other thing I kind of wanted to point out is the detail on some of these units. So firstly, let me just deploy this artillery piece down here. First off, the detail level of these units is really, really nice. They're lovely little 3D models. And one thing you can do, if you select them, go to the unit detail, is play around with all the camouflage. Something I only discovered halfway through playing this. It's really cool. You get like a whole range of all the different camouflage patterns from across the years, all the German stuff, as well as sort of pretty much every other country. Some of the Canadian stuff. Oh, there's colonial India. My bad. There's the Canadians. Sorry, anyone from Canada. So yeah, it's a really cool range of some of the stuff. I really like some of the French patterns. They've not got any of the really crazy, like on the French Charbis, where they had some of those really crazy pattern tanks. I'd really love to see some of those sort of introduced into the game. It would be quite cool. But yeah, it's a really interesting range of stuff. Lots of different patterns. I like some of the Italian African patterns, even though we are in Poland. So still a really cool range of stuff. But let's pick something at least sort of German. Different shades of grey. Can we push on from a grey maybe? Oh, that's kind of cool. This is all a bit late war stuff. This is, I think. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. You can see, and then it actually updates it on the battlefield. Really nice unit models, and there's about 1,000 different unit models in the game, so there's really kind of a lot to choose from. So where are we going to be pushing? We need to be pushing up through here. So let's, at least from the front line, get some of the infantry deployed. We'll put one there and then we'll put another one here. We'll probably end up buying a little bit more infantry. Some of the heavier tanks deployed down on this side. The recon. We've got R2 deployed over that side, so we'll deploy these guys over here. Where is the nearest airbase? Is that an airfield there? So we now have our troops fully deployed. I've sort of fiddled around with it a little bit. But I've put the smaller force over here sort of on the right side with our main force pushing out from lots, because I think we're going to clear up, push up past this this town here and try and clear these 2 points first before we sort of turn around and bring our main attention to bring our full force to bear on Warsaw, because it looks like they've kind of got quite a bit of trenching and fortification outside the city, so it could be quite a hard one for us actually to do. But we still have actually a little bit of prestige left over. Still got 982 to spend. So we actually got a few things we can buy. So there's actually quite a lot to pick from, even in 1939. So we've got all the tanks and stuff we can pick from. Obviously each one has different stats. Panzer 1s and Panzer 1Bs, of course, much cheaper to build than something like a 38T. But of course they are worse in terms of most of their attack attributes. Obviously they've only got machine guns. Good against infantry. You see the soft attack difference between a 38T and a Panzer 1 isn't that much, but it's got double the hard attack because it actually has a 37mm cannon rather than just a machine gun. So there's big differences in that sort of stuff. So that's kind of cool. We have armoured cars and stuff we can bring in. We have anti-tank guns. Obviously only the 3.7 37mm is available at the moment. But we have anti-air stuff. We could even get ourselves an 88, which is really rather cool. Actually kind of slightly tempted, but I'm not sure what I would use it for. I don't think they have that much air force. All the artillery stuff, you can get an enormous, great 21cm huge field piece, 400 for that, and plus you're going to have a prime mover with it to help it along. And then you've got fighters, tactical bombers, strategic bombers, HE-111s, etc. and Dorniers. There's a really good range of stuff, and this is only going to get more and more as you get later on into the campaigns. The first things I think we actually need is a decent amount of infantry. I think we're going to invest in a few sort of infantry units. I think we'll probably get you down there. We've got some decent bit of infantry down here. We've got 5 slots left. Let's see how that's going to work out. We could get 2 tanks probably. I might just get another 2 38Ts. I've probably got the money for it. If you're wondering why tanks use less slots than infantry at the beginning of your career, you sort of get to pick some base attributes, and since I thought I was going to have a good chunk of tanks, I put tanks as one of the things that my bonuses that cost me less core slots, so I can effectively have more of them. We'll deploy you down there. One more 38T. There. I don't think there's anything I can do with 1 slot. I don't think there's anything that... Oh, if I'd actually have the money, but if I did, I could afford a little 37. Or an AA gun. Oh, that'd be kind of cool if I had a little 37cm flak or 20mm or something like that. Ah, well, we can't afford one now. As we get more money, as we capture towns, we should be able to sort of increase stuff like that. So that's all gone well. That's finished our deployment. So let's end our deployment there now, and we'll sort of see what our opening campaign moves are going to be. So we know we've got some Polish infantry set up on this river crossing here. You can see the predicted outcome of a fight. So -7 for me, -6 for them, or -6 for me and -7 for them. Rather than, obviously it's going to be harder for me to fight sort of across a river. So that's pretty logical. So first things, I'm going to move up. We have got to clear this town. It's got to be a top priority move. So we're going to move up, use our artillery, get some initial good damage in, bit of suppression and some damage straight from the off. Probably getting the kill there because of... oh, I need to reassign my hero there. Oh, I can't use it quite at the moment. Ah, that's a shame. I forgot to reassign him. I was fiddling around with some of the settings afterwards and I forgot to reassign him. But we shall reassign him for the next time. So we can also try and cross the river a bit here. Let's have -6 is going to drive them out. It is. We managed to cause enough casualties that it forced them to retreat. So we'll throw a Panzer 38T straight in there. We'll capture the town straight away. Get some prestige for that. Blast into them straight from the back. It might push them back more. No, unfortunately not. Okay. Right, let's get these infantry crossing the river. We've also got some enemy armoured cars drifting up on the horizon as well. Throw up a 38T. What's that, like a BA-10 or something? It kind of looks like... I know we're Polish, but it kind of looks vaguely Russian. Obviously, we're winning the engagement, but they've probably been there longer, got a bit of entrenchment, so not a super victory for us. Let's throw a bit more support in there, though. Okay, driving the back, we did a much greater damage to them there than we got in return. That is good. So we're driving up most of our force here now, pushing most of the people up, and we'll push across this river because we've got to go take to Katano as well. Katona? No, I don't know. A town. We've also got our air force here. Could potentially just flatten that armoured car. I didn't quite get the kill with our Stuka. That's a shame. So we've got the 14th Grenadiers. We'll perhaps send up our Panzer. Yeah, let's send up our little Panzer 1B to machine gun them. Kind of effective more against lighter units like this. Good chunk of damage there, even though they do fight back slightly. We've also got our air balls, 109s. Not super effective against anything armoured, but against soft targets, our fighters not too bad. You know, I'm sure we'll see some of the enemy air force starting to hove into view very shortly, in which case we'll end up using it for that more anyway. But still, for now, we'll keep it moving up. Move up our artillery piece, and we'll do this one because it's not going to cause us any casualties. Our panzers more against these guys, which shouldn't do, which it doesn't. No damage. Good. And then we could use our infantry to chase them up the rear, machine gun them in the back, and actually completely wipe them out for no casualties. Nice. That is good. It's what we wanted. Yes, let's keep things moving forward. Getting a bit of idea what we can see. Some Polish platoons, a bit of an anti-tank gun there. He may push forward and start to sort of pop up my 1B a little bit, but we'll have to see next turn. So that's pretty much everything moved for this turn. Our opening moves. Let's see what the enemy is. There's the enemy air force. Oh, actually, an enemy fighter having a bit of a go at me. Not my Stukas. Oh, ow. Really sort of beating on my Stukas a little bit there. They're going to have to pull back for repairs. Quite a lot of damage. We're being hit pretty hard in town. 38Ts are getting hammered. Oh dear, and now we're being hit by what look like sort of a form of tactical bomber. Okay, the enemy has more air force than I had expected. Oh, goodness. What to go for? I think we'll go for this guy. Since he's a little bit shocked and damaged already. Bit of damage in return. Well, the Stuka's going to just sit for repair, probably. Quite a bit of experience loss if we do that, so we'll go for elite replacement. Wow, I wasn't expecting quite so much enemy air power. Maybe we really should have invested in a 20 mil. But in the meantime, what we're going to do, let's try and get some suppression on this guy here. Good, got a kill and quite a chunk of suppression there, that's nice. Got a bit of damage there with our unit. I might pull this 38T back out, push my unit into town. Go for that like that to try and drive these guys back, because we've got to actually get across this river more than just sort of annoying them. Push that guy up there. Can sort of threaten those rear horses a little bit, but not all that much. We'll drive you over there, just finish off the armoured car, completely smash it out of the game, and let's overrun their airfield. They're obviously well entrenched in that forest, not all that surprising. I'm going to fly up around here, and you can see the odds of us taking damage here are pretty low, so we should be able to do a good bit of damage. It does, and we only take a light amount of suppression in return. That's good for us. So we're starting to threaten them on that main point there, which is what we want to be doing. We'll push up our recon a little bit as well. And start to push up across the river to provide a bit of support there. So that's all looking good. The enemy air force is going to be quite a problem for us, I think. They've got quite a bit there. I wonder if we can... We could buy a 37mm. What's the difference in air attack? Quite a lot, actually, with a 37. Do we have enough? Oh, we'd actually have enoug. No! I can have enough with a wagon, but not with an opal. Go on. Buy it with a wagon. And we'll race the 37mm up to our main force. At least provides a little bit of air cover for us. Provides us with a bit of protection. So, over on this side of the map, how are things looking? I'm not going to be able to get that artillery in range of them, unfortunately, I don't think. We're going to have to deal with this guy on our own. We'll throw up our infantry to have a go against this tank gun. Should be pretty effective. We are. Nice. Obviously, if you go frontally with a tank unit against an anti-tank gun, it doesn't always go that great. Or at least the losses are sort of not worth it for the cost of replacing the unit. Now it's starting to get a bit diminished and a bit suppressed. We should be able to do it without quite so many losses, which we can. And I'm probably going to chase it down and try and kill it. The old Panzer 1B on it, machine gun it down. That's what we wanted. I think it's looking pretty nice there, so I'll have a bit of a pop at them as well. Got to clear these guys out. Keep our infantry moving up. Okay, so things are starting to look pretty nice here. Just keep on pushing up, encircle them, and then we can start to push around a little bit more. Oh, we're actually getting onto the borders of Warsaw already. I haven't pushed enough stuff over this way yet. But I think that's it for this turn. Let's go on to turn 3. Some of the enemy air force are pulling back. Starting to shoot at some of my tanks. Making a bit of a pest of themselves. Oh, enemy 7TP come out. Wow, that was damaging. Enemy fairly heavily armoured enemy tank there, smashing into the Panzer 1s. Being fairly effective. We're getting hit from behind by some of the enemy infantry. We took the worst of that there because we're stuck in the middle of it. Enemy tactical bombers bombing the shit out of me. Damn. Okay. Right. This is a fairly tough map. So, I'm going to deploy the 109s again. Let's try and deal with some of these tactical bombers. Yes, we got the 4 here. That was lucky. We were only predicted to get 3. We got lucky on the draw. Actually taken that enemy unit, air unit, out of the game. That is what we wanted. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so let's start to try and clear this river crossing and sort of create a bit of a bridgehead for us. Nice. This is the progress we wanted. We're going to push that tank through, even though it's dangerously low on health. I hadn't actually expected them to do that. In which case, I wish I hadn't moved that tank up. But oh well, there we go. You're 3 for 2. You're obviously already attacked, so you can't do anything. Well, it is what it is. Hopefully that tank survives this next move. There's a good chance I would have thought that they won't. We'll push these guys up there at least to provide a bit more of a blockage. We've still got our tactical bomber down here we can use against some of the infantry and stuff, but we are going to get attacked by the enemy fighters by doing so, so I'm not sure it's yet worth it. Although maybe we could bomb. Yeah, let's go for the enemy tank there. Gives us some views of the enemy fortifications. They've got stronghold points on the outskirts of Warsaw as well. Going to make things difficult for us. That 1B, it needs some replenishment. It's a pretty experienced unit though, so we'll give that a sort of a decent upgrade. Let's start to deal with some of these infantry. Should be able to take these out completely. Oops. Undo that move because I misjudged it. Okay, it's the enemy infantry dead and overrun. Nice. So let's push our 30AT up and take on some of these 7TPs. Fair old Duke out. Should be pretty similar in terms of... hopefully that stronghold it doesn't have like a long range, like an artillery piece. It's going to start blasting at me from distance. Okay, so that's pretty much everyone on this side of the map moved up, bar this guy. Need to keep our artillery intact because that's going to be super useful for taking out some of these stronghold points, I believe. We've used our artillery here. We'll push him up though, still all the same. So I think that's pretty much everyone deployed here, as much as it's going to be. I'm going to push you there. I'm going to try and break these guys, just to break my unit out of encirclement, because they're kind of a little bit stuck at the moment because he's wedged between 2 units. He can't get supply, probably over the swamp, you see. We can probably throw a bit of support down this side then. Might even get them to retreat. Oh, it does, it does, it does, it does. That's nice because that's broken the encirclement of my unit. Let's get them out. Good job. That's nice. And that's pretty much that cavalry unit driven back. So all we've got to do is try and get this 38T to survive these probably 2 attacks that are going to come its way and possible bombing. And if it does, then we shall get it healed up next turn. Let's get our wagon moving up with our little 37 in it. Start to get that up in support a little bit better and end the turn. So of course, a fight is deploying against my Stuckers already. Stuckers are fighting back slightly, but you know, they're not great at this sort of thing. So any infantry coming in to try and press some pressure on my 38T is actually doing a good job. Remember, it's a full strength infantry unit. Oh, and a bit of a duke out with that 70p. Oh, they've recaptured me because they've encircled this town again. These guys are becoming a bit of a pain. So my 38Ts are being driven back. Nice to see that cavalry is going for my own cavalry rather than the other guys. They're pushing pressure on the recon on the riverbed again. Quite damaging. Oh, more enemy infantry are coming forwards. Oh, followed by the tactical bombers. Great. And some enemy armour. I think we're going to have to start to try and transfer some units across here to try and provide a bit more assistance because we are getting beaten hard. Yeah, let's throw this 1B up first. Provide a bit of support there to try and start to hammer some of these guys. You're going to have to heal because you're too badly damaged. Sort of, so are you, but you're cut off a little bit fairly badly. I'm going to throw some machine gun support on these cavalry, see what that does for me. I have got artillery, you see, which I maybe should have used there. They need to heal. Yeah, let's get you healed up. You can teleshot that unit there. You guys move up and start to suppress this tank. There we go, a little bit of damage in there, which is nice. You've attacked effectively already. Let's at least get you out the sort of valley bed. Shoot up these other cavalry that were both pretty similar strengths. Oh, he kind of came off worse from that. That may spell the end of that cavalry unit possibly there. And this guy is so badly suppressed, just doesn't really know what to do. Ha! Well, that didn't exactly go according to plan. But anyway, we've also got probably our fighter deploy. See how we do there. -3 for -1. Yeah, worth it. Although our fighter is starting to take a little bit of damage now. We could also look at possibly bombing someone. Possibly this infantry unit here, because it's quite a good strength unit. If we can start to diminish the unit a little bit. Yeah, -3. That is very much worth it. Oh, and we can get in with our air gun. Well, we didn't actually really hit anything, but we suppressed it slightly. Not quite sure how you suppress a plane, but still, I'll take it. So we've got our slightly damaged 38Ts. Let's just finish off that fight with the 70p. Boom, got him, done. Artillery. Fire on these full infantry squadron here. Yes, we've got the damage in we wanted. Damage in with the Panzer first, -4 for nothing, excellent. And then we'll throw up some infantry in support and drive these guys back towards Warsaw. Maybe even get another one in here. I think we can. I'm going to risk getting hit by the fortification here, but yes, surrendered the unit. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Now this fortification is going to be hard to deal with, but for now, let's just keep the things moving on up. Get these artillery set up in the forest. Do we send another unit over here to sort of support? No, we'll keep pushing around this way. I'm kind of just exploring a little bit as well. There's some stuff we can cut off here. I think once we break, we're going to start to break these guys down eventually. It's just a little bit more over here than I sort of support than I thought was going to be coming from over this way. So let's go to the next turn, see what happens. I worry we're going to lose that cavalry unit probably, but I think we can. Okay, so some enemy tanks coming out. The enemy air force coming out. Bit of suppression, but no damage. Bunker opening fire. Ooh, fair bit of damage against our Panzer ones there, but then they took a fair bit of damage in return. It's gonna hurt. Ooh, only -1. Ah, they've retreated though because they were so badly suppressed already, so we've re-lost the town. That's a shame. Recon's gonna take a chunk of damage there. It does indeed. Oh, and they're gonna sneak around and have a pop at my artillery. Oh, that's annoying. At least we get to shoot back with a bit of damage. Just a suppression. Jesus. Not super effective. Not kind of panned out quite how I wanted it to there in that campaign. Where does that leave us? Well, it looks like most of the enemy air force is sort of bugged off because they know full well that they're going to get hit by my 37. I'm going to have a pop at this plane here. And we didn't get the result quite that we wanted. It's very badly diminished though now, that enemy sort of little fighter aircraft. So I suppose that's ultimately a good thing. We've got to contend against this enemy tank here. But I think for now, let's focus on this side first, because this is the side that's most in trouble. Well, we'll use artillery. They don't shoot back even at point blank range here like that. So we've got damage and suppression, so that is a good thing. We'll outflank them here and shoot them in the back. That's driving them back. We may be able to finish them off with that infantry here. We did. Nice. That was worth it, definitely. So, where does that leave us in terms of what we've got? Bit of a tough one. I think we're going to drive these infantry forwards and start putting pressure on these enemy horses. We really want to try and start finishing units off. These guys are going to pull back to town because they're really badly damaged. You know, this recon is in trouble. I'm going to throw some money at it to get it repaired. I think it's worth it. I'm going to try and overwhelm these guys here and clear the side. Good, we got them, the overrun. Nice, that means we capture both towns again. And let's throw some damage at these guys in this little river crossing bed here. Okay, so things are starting to look up a little bit. We've cleared out this side of the river again, and basically we've cut them off from Warsaw. They're getting no reinforcements from that direction now, which is what we want. And it's about how we're going to start to pressure these guys on this side of the crossing. Start to clear them out. They've got a few annoying strength units. Specifically these infantry here. We have still got our tactical bomber though, so I think we're going to make use of that. And let's start to just damage some of these infantry. So we want 3 damage. You know, it's reducing their overall offensive capacity, so we're just sort of wearing them down. At least that's the plan anyway. Yeah, we'll leave a 37 there for now. So over on this side of things, what have we got? Quite a lot of stuff entrenched. I think we'll deal with the stuff that's less entrenched for now, like these tanks. They're going to be pulling back. See, we can have a go there. We are getting a little bit dangerously far forwards on a fairly low strength unit if we do that though. Yeah, let's push it with the infantry instead. Much better strength unit. Good, and enemy armor eliminated. So let's reinforce this 38T. We're about out of money. Yeah, not great. Now we'll push these guys up. I'm just going to avoid this fortification, to be honest. I don't really need to fight it at the moment. I think we're just going to go round it. seems a good a plan as any. We'll move around and capture this town though, because if nothing else we get the prestige for it. And it looks like we're starting to apply a fair amount of pressure on Warsaw now. Starting to get it surrounded. Okay, 10 turns to go. Badly our little recon unit. Glad we reinforced that. It's probably going to retreat now. It is, but I don't mind. Ouch! They're so painful. It's not going to push me in range, is it? No, unfortunately not. Okay. What does that leave us with? I'm going to push those guys up. They're damaged. Let's get these guys back up to strength. My cavalry unit that's out them out for a turn effectively, but at least it reinforces them. And they're overrun. Nice. Everyone is now encircled. These guys are ultimately doomed, I think. We use the recon from this side of the road to damage him, and they've surrendered. Nice. It's not a very favourable odds, probably because they're pretty entrenched. Yeah, they're getting pretty well entrenched in there. Get these guys out here. These are low strength Panzer on these ones, so we can pull off full strength one up into the town. Good. At least initially that's not worth us attacking, because you see they're so well entrenched now in that place. So we're going to move up the artillery to get things a bit better into position before we start to pressure that. Actually, I'm going to do that move. Have I got enough to reinforce this? We're running out of money. Money is our problem with this campaign. So we could push up a bit with our infantry. See what they've got. They've got a piece of artillery and some engineers in town. That's probably the last sort of stuff they've got. So starting to get sort of a bit more threatening towards them now. Where did their bomber go? I don't think they've got anything else really immediately in the area that's going to be super effective for me. 3 damage for just a little bit of suppression back. Worth it on their bomber. If nothing else, it costs them money to refly it, so it's damaging their prestige. We've also got our tactical bomber ourselves. I don't know if there's anything specifically we want to hit, but we might as well hit these entrenched cavalry. Even if we either damage their entrenchment, which we do, we get 1 damage on the entrenchment, and we cause a hit and a small amount of suppression. Next turn. Bomber coming back there for safety. Cavalry is trying to sort of fight back, break out a little bit. Well worth it for me. They took some heavy losses there. Here comes the tactical bomber. Ow. Some of the enemy artillery shooting from their defensive positions out there. So we need to kill these cavalry really more than anything. I'm trying to chase this enemy bomber down, but I just can't get close enough. The enemy plane's obviously well back and resupplying and hiding from me. Fighter there still sort of out there causing trouble. Get a bit of suppression from our artillery unit. Best off with the infantry by the looks of it into the forest. Retreat now, we can use the Panzer one on them. No even damage. And the enemy cavalry is dealt with and dead. Nice. So let's firstly push these guys up, capture the enemy airbase. And let's start to damage some of this enemy artillery. Push these guys up, and we'll probably push you up. That's probably all we realistically need now to deal with the engineer. The artillery will go with them. So these guys can now start to push back down here towards Warsaw, where possible. What are you using? 156. Getting low on money, so I'm being a bit more conservative with what I'm spending. You've actually been used this turn, so we'll push you up all the same. You've done all the infantry are on the move. What's that? That's my 37. We'll get that moving again shortly, probably. So what are we going to bomb with these guys? We can have a look at this fortification, maybe drop some stuff on that. Boom! Bit of free bombing. Not going to be super effective, it's just too well entrenched. It's going to be a really hard one to break these guys on because they're obviously almost a full entrenchment in that town. And it's a major river, so it's not going to be very easy to cross. Realistically, I feel like we almost have to deal with this entrenched piece here. I think we're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it because I've got to break this piece so we can flank around this way. I don't think we're ever going to be able to break Warsaw from one side. Just do it. Take the cost. Ow. Painful. Need more artillery. Let's take the cost, take the hit. Just keep working them down. That's all we can do. Not worth it with the tanks because I think it's just too much of a strong bastion for us to get through. These guys we might as well get healed up while they're waiting there. Cool, and everyone else is on the move. Next turn. The Polish Air Force is starting to get driven back into the corner, so it's diminished. I mean, maybe I have to finish off that unit now, that turn. Ouch. Oof, big hit again. No artillery, still fighting back, but no real super damage. It's not too bad for us. Okay, that's them overrun. Try and start to think about getting these guys a bit surrounded. I'm going to get the artillery coming up as well. Even if it doesn't kill, it suppresses, and that's kind of what's important. Start to get these guys down. We won't attack this turn, but we're starting to get there with that stuff. So let's get our 37mm back, so we're moving up as well. And then we've got our cavalry regiment trot on down. And then we've got to start dealing with this bunker again. So first things first, let's get the 109s out. Don't think it's going to deal with it. Yes, it did. We got lucky on the steel strike. Enemy fighters eliminated. Good job, 109. That's almost going to be level 1. So once it gets to 1,000 experience, it's going to get a bit of a bonus. So that means we can deploy the Stukas, which are getting a little bit diminished here by now. So we might not get any hits here. Yeah, we did. We got a health hit. Nice. No damage from our artillery though, unfortunately. So we're going to hit... Oh, God. Hit them with a full strength grenadier unit. Oh, that was a bit better. A double hit there. That's a bit more like it. Yes, and 2 for 1. That's starting to get a bit more like what we want. That unit's really going to have to heal up. Slowly starting to get that bunker down. Hopefully next turn it will collapse completely. Because we're stuck really. Our tanks can't even do that much because they can't cross the gap. Oh, this Panzer 1 actually is now full level, so it gets plus 8% accuracy. Which is nice. That's well worth elite prestiging them. I'm going to push this guy back down, to be honest, because I think we want to start to think about outflanking some of these stuff. Where's that recon? Trying to push some of this flank a little bit more, because I can't get my tanks around very easily. We've still got plenty of turns to do this, though, so I think we're going to be okay. Hopefully. Enemy tactical bomber still being a bit of a menace for me. But we are starting to get there. Ooh, how damaging is that going to be? 2. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's push these guys around a bit more. Use our artillery to start to get some suppression. There we go. That's more like it. Oh, still pretty painful on the attack, isn't it? Go for it to start to work them down. Take the hit. These are obviously pioneers. So they're quite a hard one to fight against for us. Trying to work the unit down, even at a great personal cost. Oh, we actually got away with that with very little damage. That was a lucky roll. 2 for 2. Probably worth it. No real damage. Okay. So that's those guys deployed. No real super wipeouts there. Got a little bit more work to go on those ones. So on the other side of the map, I think we're going to have to keep pushing Warsaw. I'm going to move this fighter up. Try and get some damage on this enemy bomber. Still forever chasing everything with my little 37, trying to get it to move up, but it's not really getting me anywhere. We've still got our Stucker. Let's get this bombing again. Not sure we're going to do a lot, but you never know. No damage there. Go with the artillery. No damage there. After 1 for 1 it with our little grenadier detachment. Morale drop. Warsaw defenders have suffered a temporary morale drop due to the destruction of the strong point. Nice. Let's start to get these guys sort of starting to outflank a bit now. These guys are going to be well entrenched. They're going to be really hard for us to deal with. But ultimately, I think it'll be worth it. I need to heal, really. We'll pay the cost for that unit. Too diminished to really be super effective. Let's push through this gap then. Start to get the cavalry and start to go get some of the enemy artillery. It's already diminished. It shouldn't fight back too strongly. Doesn't. No damage. That's good. Start to drive those guys back because they're going to be so entrenched, these people. That's what's going to make this one really hard for us to deal with. The level of entrenchment is just very high. So next turn I think Kutno will fall and we'll start to bring those units back over. But really we're going to be basically trying to capture Warsaw with what we've got here. Next turn. 6 turns to go. Tactical bombers back out. Probably be the end of them that turn because realistically I think fighters will probably be able to deal with them. We're being attacked back. Okay, we actually got the better of that drop. That's worth it for us. Get the SIG 33 on it. Boom. Our Bison. Bit of suppression. No kill, unfortunately. There we go. That's got them on the retreat. Oh, actually didn't even kill them. There we go. Overrun and dead. Let's now recapture Katana. Good. So that's all our objectives this side finished. Let's get all the units that we can moving up back towards the main town. Do that artillery. That would be a really useful one to have. So we're basically full time over this side. Let's get our fighters deployed against these guys. Wow. Big explosion. Hopefully I didn't land on my cavalry. Good, we got a good hit on that artillery. I'm surprised they didn't retreat, but it's probably stuck, so we can't move it on this side. Let's get it overrun and destroyed. Nice. And we'll get these guys encircled properly. Good, that's a bit better. So we can actually start to get some decent hits on these entrenched people on this side now. Starting to clear out this flank a little bit. Took a hit there, unfortunately. One hit. Bit of damage to them. Crikey. They're very resilient, aren't they? Use the old recon unit, see what we take here. One damage hit. But so did they. We're getting them down slowly. Very slowly diminishing them. So this one's going to be a hard one because it's so hard to get in here. And keep this guy up to strength. I can't even get into the sort of the slot next to him because it's too river-based, coastal. Let's keep pushing these guys up. Let's push the artillery up as well. Would have made sense to have done that beforehand, but there we go. So we'll clear these guys out, and then we'll start to really focus all our artillery and all our weight on the actual capital itself, I think. I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to reach the capital from here, though. We may have to try and rebase to this airbase out here at some point. That's really all I've got for that turn. Not a lot else I can do. They're going to start attacking from their city spots. You see, they hit pretty hard, not to release the tanks pretty fast. Look at that, 4 health losses fighting against those guys from Warsaw. For them being a 1, so it's well worth it for them to do that sort of stuff. These guys are struggling, even though they're entrenched. They're running out of ammo, and they're not going to like this very much. They'll soon surrender or get defeated, I suspect. And they're actually fighting back. There you machine gun them in the back, and they surrendered. That's what I thought they were going to do. That's good, and that's another sort of strong point there. Actually, now eliminated effect. So, a bit of suppression on that main point. If I push into this gap here, I can then start to push infantry into here. I'll push infantry into there, actually. And this squad will eventually probably move up. Or we could use the cavalry, I suppose it works either way. And it's all we can do, really, is ultimately going to have to fight through this. Where's this? Not the 109 that I'm thinking of, particularly. Although we'll use it in this case to cause a bit of suppression on Warsaw. Oh, there's actually some enemy anti-aircraft guns a little bit further back there. There's no other way for me to get across this river, is there? No, which is what makes things a bit unfortunate here. So our tanks are almost useless at this point. We need to get this SIG up, is what we really need more than anything. But reinforcing infantry are kind of useful as well. Everything else is pretty much useless. This bomber, I think we're going to redeploy here. Because at least it's closer then for next turn, because I'm out of range otherwise. And 4 for 3, it's almost worth it actually. There we go. I might get lucky. Plus before for 3, we got what we thought. 3 for 2. Go on. Ah, before. Oh, but it cost them 4. Oh, that was worth it. Nice. They may reinforce next turn, but it's going to start to apply pressure on that final point now. Even with them pushing out there, they might do the same. Oh, my fighting's taking a bit of a hammering. How much of a hit am I going to get if I destroy the unit? Oh! 1. Retreat! Pull back, guys. Get out of there. Nearly completely lost that whole unit of grenadiers. Don't want to do that, because if you lose the unit, you're losing all the experience, etc. that goes with it. So, yeah, artillery. Bang. Is this SIG getting in range? Not quite. Next turn it will do that. Move up these guys. We should be able to smash these. Have them out. Nice. Push him. Okay, so that secures a central Warsaw. And I do want to play it next. I'm going to push across and kill this unit. Worth it for me. It'd be lovely to get a tank across one of these. Try reasonably. I'll push you across. Why not? Why not? And let's put some pressure on that. Did a lot. Ow. Wasn't super effective. We'll heal up that unit. move our artillery piece up. That gives us some range on some of the stuff down here. And basically these guys, not a lot they can do here. It's going to take full damage if they do, so it's not worth it for me, at least not at the moment. Get these guys healed up so we can use them next time around. Okay, we're getting there. I think with 3 turns, I think we can probably do this. We've still got our bomber. The risk is we're going to get shot by the Air Force. But we'll do it all the same. Pressed but not killed, at least. We didn't really do a lot to the defenders there, but still. Oh, we took quite a big hit on our tank there. The AA... Oh, at least he's pulling back to the AA. Kill. Oof, my stuck is on full retreat back to the airbase. It's being completely hammered by flak fire. Okay. Well, we should be able to get the SIG in range, probably. Capture that out there. Depends what I want to break next, whether I've got to break this infantry unit first or not. I'll push you there. I'll get some suppression on this AA gun. That means I'm going to push you up there. And probably you forward there. Just push that gun forwards. Does that give me enough room to get this in range? It does. Good. Got to try and get some decent suppression on these. That's a bit more like it. Yes! Oh, they're actually going to go. Perfect. We've broken them, driven them out. Pushing them back into the river. That's exactly what we needed. Now we can drive the tanks through. Actually start to finish these guys off. Good. Surrendered. Done. Broken. Nice. Next. Start to drive our panzers through now. Just got to deal with this AA gun. The last bit of resistance in central Warsaw. They will not last. They will not stand against me for long. We might even have a... Oops, there you go. May even have a cheeky go. No, that's not worth it. Not worth it. The casualties we'll take isn't worth the cost. Next turn. We'll do them this turn. And that's going to be victory. That was a really close one. I really thought we weren't going to have enough turns there for a moment. Actually finish these guys off. Artillery first to try and preserve casualties, because casualties carry over to the next game, so you want to have minimal casualties, because you know the way you can do it with less casualties, the less it's going to cost you. Victory! That was a really tough one. That was a really tough little campaign, but a really fun one. And there we go. Warsaw has fallen before us. I thought we were going to run out of turns then. We did some things good, some things bad. A little bit more better improvement on deployment, I think, and probably a bit better spending. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I really am quite impressed with the Panzer Corps. Love the variety of units, and you know, it's not just going to be from the German perspective that you get to play. There's going to be lots of different nations, and I think there's supposed to be up to like 1,000 different unit models. And I'm really impressed with the 3D models. I really like the look of them. They look really good, and I really quite like the camouflage system as well. And you can do insignia and all sorts. Really quite a cool little basis. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for a load more sort of random strategy game, a lot of particularly World War II strategy games, which I kind of enjoy touching on content, and I shall see you guys all on the next video.